Hello and welcome back to my channel, friends. My name is Mercedes. I also go by That Mom on here, That Mom Wellness Coach on all the social medias. I am a health and wellness coach. I am a nutrition coach. I am a busy mom of two. I am a wife, and I work outside the house full time. So I do a lot of stuff. If you guys are new here to this channel, I would love you to subscribe. I know that because of my lack of videos lately, I've lost a few subscribers. So I really hope that you guys come on back and everything. But yeah, this is a real life channel and everything, and I just want to the best content out here for you guys. So anyway, today, hi, if you're new, I'm sorry, I do ramble a lot, but anyway, this video is as titled, I am making pumpkin flan or flan de calabaza, and the recipe that I am using is from nashifood.com. So wonderful. Thank you so much for providing the recipe. I looked on Pinterest to find a recipe, and this was the one that looked the most doable to me. So anyway, according to this recipe, the prep time is 5 minutes. It's not really 5 minutes, guys, or at least it took me much longer than 5 minutes. The cook time is 1 hour, 10 minutes. The chill time is 8 hours, and the total time of this recipe is supposed to be 9 hours and 15 minutes, which I believe mine took extra long because I was in a state of grief. I made this, full disclosure, back in October when my mom had passed away. I planned to make this before everything happened, but I had already had the stuff, and I said, you know what, my mom would really like this, so I went ahead and made it anyway, in a very much grief state. So it took me a while to get this video edited. Other than all the computer issues I've been having and everything, it took me just that long of time to even sit down and go through the footage because the raw footage in the background, I was having a very hard time. So it was very hard to listen to all that and to go back through all those emotions and everything. But anyway, like I said, my mom would have loved this recipe. She was a big flan fan, so we made it anyway. I have the ingredients to actually make this again. I might go ahead and make it again anyway. Into the recipe. Now that we got all the pleasantries out of the way. For the caramel sauce that you already saw me make, the caramel sauce is going down on the bottom of the pan, and I used three pans because the recipe itself asked for a 9-inch round. I have a confectioner's oven, so a 9-inch round does not fit in my confectioner's oven, so I did not think all of the stuff would fit into my square pan. That is why I did the two small, they're actually pot pie pans on the side, but it does say 9-inch round or ramekins for individual portions, and I didn't have enough ramekins or pot pie pans to make enough individual portions, so it was fine. It was fine. But anyway, the caramel sauce was a half a cup of sugar and a third of a cup of water, and it says that you're supposed to mix them in a small saucepan, turn the heat to low, let it simmer, and then the color will start to change in about 5 to 8 minutes. Well, it took me so long for that to actually happen, and as you can see, I did do some mixing and stuff, because another recipe about caramel said, don't stop mixing it or it will burn to the sides, and I did not want that to happen because I didn't want to make a mess for myself to clean up later. So it took more like 40 minutes or something to get my caramel sauce going and everything. Then you put the caramel down on your pan and go on to the next part. So I did put some caramel into my little pot pie dishes, and I put the rest into the main pan, and then I was having issues spreading it out. But I've learned that if it doesn't spread out, it's fine, because in the cooking phase, it will kind of spread throughout the bottom of the pan, and it actually turned out quite well, even though the whole time I was like, did I mess this up? Did I mess this up? Did I mess this up? I did not, in the end, mess it up. It was super good. Now, my my confectioner's oven didn't need a big preheat time. So, but the recipe says to preheat while you're doing this part that you see me doing in the video, which is adding the ingredients to the blender or food processor, because you want it to be smooth. And there are actually recipes that you throw it through a sieve before you put it into the actual pan you're cooking in. I did not throw it through a sieve. I was being lazy, but it still turned out fine. So to your blender, the ingredients are 1 pound of pumpkin, which I used a can of pumpkin, which was 16 ounces of a can of pumpkin, 1 can of evaporated milk, a can of sweetened condensed milk, which everybody saw that can. It was the nostalgic can. It's the beautiful stuff. 4 large eggs at room temperature, a tablespoon of vanilla extract, a fourth of a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. And like I said, you put them into the food processor and you combine, you blend, you make it pretty. I just went until it looked pretty frothy, and then just go ahead and put it in your baking dish. You will need a pan or something that fits under your baking dish. So for me, I used the pan that actually came with the confectioner's oven that my baking dish fit on top of, because you are going to do a method called a bain-marie, which is a water bath method, because that is how we're going to cook it. It's going to steam, and also it kind of the water bath also kind of helps more evenly distribute the cooking temperature and everything. So as you can see here, I kind of freaked out a little bit about the caramel, and it ends up being fine in the end, guys. And then you go ahead and you fill your pan, of course, like what I'm doing here, and then you put your pan into your preheated 350-degree oven and bake for 50 to 60 minutes. So again, I have a confectioner's oven, so the timings on the confectioner's oven change a little bit. I think I ended up going a little bit over the 60 minutes because I did poke it a little bit and it did look a little eggy. So I just went a little bit beyond that 60-minute mark. I checked it at the 50-minute mark, and then I set it again for another 10 minutes. And then, or I think I set it again for like about 15 minutes because I didn't want it to be eggy. Because you guys know you've had that bad custard where it's like you bite into it and it's all egg. That is not what I wanted to do. Anyway, I did just went a little bit over the timing for that. And then for the other 2 dishes, they did not all fit on the pan at the same time. I put the other 2 in the refrigerator while I was cooking the other pan, and then those 2 dishes, I set it for about 30 minutes, and then I checked it, and I believe it worked out just fine with the 30 minutes. I should have wrote myself a little note on what actually worked and what didn't. But everything ended up working out just fine. Now it says to cook, and then when it's done, to insert a knife, and when it comes out clean in the center, which is what I was saying, don't have that eggy texture, remove it from the oven and from the bain-marie and let it cool, completely cool before refrigerating. I've had Pyrex explode on me, guys. Do not take your hot pan and put it in the cold refrigerator. So here is what it looks like while I'm letting it kind of cool down. And I did make some whipped cream for it also. Oh, and it says to refrigerate the flan 24 hours so it sets. I think I left it in there all weekend and came back on Monday, and we had it for dessert on Monday. Here is the whipping cream the whipped cream that I made, and I just had a super simple recipe, and it was just I believe that is a half quart of heavy whipping cream, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I think my recipe said like a third of a cup of sugar. It could have been like a fourth of a cup of sugar, but I know I did not add all the sugar because I have a diabetic in my house, and we just went with the flow of that is a 1/4 cup of sugar. And as you see, I didn't actually fill it all the way to the top. And it turned out just fine. It turned out really good. It gave the whipped cream texture, it gave the whipped cream feeling that we needed. And it was very good because the flan actually turned out a little bit sweeter than we even thought it would, because of the caramel and everything. And as you can see, my little one's hands were there. She was my sous chef. She was helping me out and everything. Thanks to Nashi Foods, she put down the nutrition stuff at the bottom. So I will let you guys know what the nutrition stuff is. It says that this recipe for a serving, which her recipe is 10 slices. So a serving would be one slice. It says the calories for that one slice would be 259 calories, 39 grams of carbohydrates, 8 grams of protein, 8 grams of fats, 4 grams of saturated fat, 1 gram of polysaturated or polyunsaturated fat, 2 grams of monosaturated fat, 0.01 grams of trans fat, 89 milligrams cholesterol, 172 milligrams of sodium, 435 milligrams of potassium. Hey, fiber is 0.2 grams. Regular sugars is 38 grams. Your vitamin A is 4,147 IUs, and vitamin C is 6 milligrams. Oh, and your calcium is 225 milligrams of calcium, which, because I added the whipping cream on top, I have a little bit more calcium in mine as well. Oh, and there's 1 milligram of iron from the pumpkin. Gotta love that. Anyway, here's my flip, which is all over my YouTube shorts page, is people flipping flan. And it looks beautiful. I'm sorry, my tummy is in the way. I'll try to fix that a little bit, but if you guys still see my little tummy sticking through, I'm sorry. My taste tester here was super excited for the taste test. That is her little dish. And then I will show you guys another shot. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope this video was good. You liked it. Leave me a comment below. I know the voiceover is always chaotic, but I'm sorry. That is what you expect when you come to my channel. I have a real channel, guys. This is a real channel. So thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed, I would love it if you did. If you are returning, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Drink a lot of water. We'll see you then. Bye, guys.